When 25-year-old Rahul arrives at this massive, decaying village estate, it's out of necessity. He's starting a new job, and the rain-slicked old house is the only place offering him a room. The owner, an old man named Haridas, has a simple set of rules. Rahul is free to use any part of the house he likes, with one absolute exception. He is never to open the door to room 13. Rahul initially laughs off the warning. It seems like a small price to pay for a bed. But as the first night settles in, the absolute silence of the house makes that one locked door feel far larger than it actually is. By drawing a hard line at a single door, Haridas has ensured it is the only thing Rahul can focus on. The mystery isn't just in the house, it's now the centerpiece of Rahul's stay. The silence doesn't last. At exactly midnight, Rahul is jolted awake by a steady rhythm coming from down the hall. Tap, tap, tap. He has to navigate across the dark house, following the sound until he's standing directly in front of the one place he was told to avoid. The tapping is coming from the other side of the door to room 13. When Rahul reaches for the handle, the sound stops instantly. He waits, but there's nothing. Only when he turns to walk back to his room does the tapping begin again, matching his pace. House frames don't settle in response to footsteps. Whatever is making that sound is listening, waiting for him to move before it begins its rhythm again. On the third night, the mystery takes a physical form. Rahul wakes to find a young girl in the corridor, her white clothes drenched in water. Without saying a word, she raises a pale hand and points directly at room 13. She leans in, whispering a single, terrifying sentence. "He killed me." Then she vanishes. Seeking answers, Rahul finds a village elder who remembers a different version of this house. 20 years ago, Haridas had a daughter named Maya. One day, she simply disappeared. Haridas told the village she had moved away to the city to start a new life. It was a convenient story, but the locals never quite believed that she would leave so abruptly without a word to anyone else. The girl in the hallway and the elder's story are now two halves of the same mystery. The daughter who supposedly left for the city 20 years ago appears to have never left this corridor. Rahul can't ignore it any longer. He finds a tool, returns to the forbidden hallway, and snaps the padlock on room 13. The air inside is thick with the smell of rot. As his flashlight sweeps the room, he sees the evidence of a struggle. Deep scratches in the walls and dark, ancient bloodstains on the floor. In the corner, he finds a diary. The pages are filled with frantic writing, begging for help and describing how her own father had locked her away. The city alibi was a lie to cover a kidnapping. "Why are you here?" Rahul spins around to find Haridas in the doorway. The old man's eyes have turned a solid, terrifying black, and his face is twisted into a jagged, unnatural grin. As Haridas lunges forward, the room itself begins to tear apart. The walls crack, and dozens of pale, ghostly hands start bursting through the brick, reaching for the man who kept them hidden for 2 decades. Faced with the manifestation of his crime, Haridas finally breaks. He admits he was crushed by debt, and in a moment of blind rage, struck his daughter. The blow was fatal. He couldn't face the consequences. He pried up the floorboards, hid her body in the crawlspace, and nailed the room shut, hoping the world would forget she ever existed. The secret Haridas tried to bury was never truly gone. It had been waiting beneath those floorboards for 20 years, and with the door finally open, the truth is no longer contained. As the confession ends, every light in the house suddenly dies. Rahul is left in a darkness so sick he can't see his own hands. From the center of the room comes the sound of Haridas's final, desperate screams, echoing off the walls before being cut short. When the lights finally flicker back on, Haridas has vanished. The only things left are his broken glasses on the floor and a message written in blood on the wall. Judgment is over. The killer is gone, the body has been found, and the violent energy that filled the room seems to have finally dissipated. The next day, the village recovers Maya's remains from beneath the floor. They perform the proper rites, finally giving the girl the peace she was denied. Rahul packs his bags. He's seen enough of this house. He heads for the exit, ready to put it behind him. But as he reaches the gate, he hears a soft, childish voice from right behind his ear. "Brother, do you have my doll?" Rahul turns around. It isn't just Maya. Standing with her are 3 other children, their eyes filled with blood. They look at him and begin a synchronized, high-pitched laugh that echoes through the trees. Solving the mystery of Room 13 didn't end the haunting. It only revealed that Haridas's crime was just one part of a much darker history, and the other victims are still waiting for their turn.